Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. Today we will be playing Free League Publishing's game of Nordic horror and mystery, Vaesen. So yes, thank you and welcome back. Thank you to our subscribers. And to those who haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It will support us. There are other ways of supporting us, such as there are some t-shirts you can purchase. There's a mug you can purchase. I'll put some other things at time when I have time to design them to purchase. There's also, you can give a coffee thank you, which was asked by Chris. Chris asked if I could set that up, and I did. There's other ways of supporting us where you can become a member, as Pio, who actually lives in the area where this game is set. And specifically, I would like to say to Pio, I am very sorry if I pronounce anything like Vaesen incorrectly during the playing of this mystery over the several sessions that we'll be playing it. I'm attempting to learn Italian at the moment, and my pronunciation of things is awful, even English. My best pronunciation is as Captain Pete. But anyway, I digress. We will be playing Vaesen. Now we're going to play Vaesen as a one-off mystery setting, so we're going to assume that the characters have been introduced to the castle, which, Pio, is the castle real? Is that a real thing in Uppsala? Uppsala? I'm going to call it Uppsala. If that's wrong, please tell me. Is it a real castle? If so, that's awesome. But we're going to assume that our characters have inherited the castle, part of the setting, get the book, quite cool, but we'll go through it later if we decide to continue this mystery. But it'll do it in series 2. The castle, we've got it, and we will follow the solo guide, which comes from Free League Publishing, which is called Thursday's Child, to devise our mystery. And we're going to play it as we have received the mystery and we are setting off. So we will start off by following the 10-step process. There's 10 steps to the process. And gain our mystery, and then we will record it and move through, and we will go through to remind you, if you haven't seen last episode, but if you haven't, go back and watch it after this one, of course. Our two main characters, where we did character creation, our two main characters, we have our primary character, who I thought was going to be our primary character, but it may not end up being Samuel Jarv, maybe, sorry, Jarv. I don't think that is Jarv, but if it isn't, sorry. Samuel, who's a private investigator, who was going to be our main character. Samuel got the sight by hearing a myelin crying whilst looking for a missing child. Samuel's partner in investigations is Eric. Eric is a priest. Samuel is 52, he's quite old, though 52 is young, of course. I'm 52. Eric is a priest who joined the priesthood because Eric inherited a septus, which is a Vaesen, and the third owner of a septus becomes cursed, and Eric is the third owner, and so joined the religious order, the priesthood, in the ability to try and keep that curse back. Eric is quite well off and has quite a lot of money and resources. Samuel is middle class. These two both have the sight. They already know each other and have inherited or been handed the castle by Linnea. Linna sounds right. By Linna, who is an old woman who lives in Uppsala, and she has linked to the society and behind the castle. If the castle is real, that's cool. And I think that's about it, really. So what we will do is we'll work out what the invitation is, and we'll do most of this as sort of flashback scenes. So what we're basically doing is we're going to open with Eric and Samuel. Eric is going to be sitting in the driver's seat of a horse and cart, and we're driving through, probably it's evening time, and we're driving riding a horse and cart through country lanes and roads as we move through towards a location that we haven't rolled yet. and Eric and Samuel will be talking about the mystery that they're going off to, and discussing what the mystery is and who came to the castle to give them, or whatever, we haven't rolled that bit yet, give them the mystery. So we will start on step one. Step one of I really should plan these a bit more than just wade in. Step one, we shall start on the cheat sheet for playing the mystery, which is roll an invitation. So first off, we've got to work out who gave us this mystery. So we go to it's standard free league. So we've got I'm using these dice. I do not have, I couldn't afford it. Oh yeah, one thing I should say. So I don't know if this is going to go a bit dodgy, but I'll do it here. Because of the green and the green screen, it might not work together. But this Vaesen book was sent to me by Free League, just to say. I filled in a form as to say I'd review it, and I will do as part of a review of this game. But they sent me the core rules, so I didn't pay for this, just to say. Hence, I haven't bought the dice because I don't have the money to. Hence, if you support by buying a coffee or something, I could get the proper dice or other supplements and books. So we use the standard D6s. So our step one says roll an invitation. I do apologise for touting my wares all the time. It's sort of it's not, I like playing games, but if you could support me to buy more things, that would be awesome. So, invitation. First off, we are discussing who came to give us this mystery. 6, a scruffy homing pigeon. We're discussing it and discussing a homing pigeon. So a scruffy homing pigeon arrived at the castle. Quest giver, and it told us quest giver, which is a D66. So first dice 4, 46, 46, troubled innkeeper. Okay, so we'll say that this is the innkeeper of a tavern, a pub, a hostelry, of the location where we're going to. We would names 191 names. So this will be, it will be male. So this is 1800s. There are certain things about gender and equality. We're not going to play massively into that because the game actually specifies this as one of the parts. In fact, we're going to take a short. I'm going to take a short cut as I find this bit because it's quite well written, I found. Gender roles. So whomever wrote this, I don't know if anyone from Free League ever watches any of these things. I very much doubt it. But this is very well written. The real 19th century was a patriarchal society where men had power over women and women were constrained in what they could do, say, and what jobs they could hold. However, this role-playing game is not about the real 19th century, but the mythical Scandinavia. It is up to the gaming group to determine how your version of Scandinavia looks like and how you will handle this around the table. We see no reason to let historical injustice limit the options available to players, particularly since there are lots of examples of powerful women in historical literature and fairy tales. Nicely written, I found. Names. But we're still going to, even with all that little sideline, we're still going to make this a male character. So this person is 22. Ephraim, 46. Ephraim Massing. So Ephraim Massing has sent us a message by homing pigeon about a problem, something is happening, a misdeed is occurring in the town where he's in. Okay, I've got some keywords here. We'll do 24, what's that come up with? Death, nice. 22, death dance. So what would death dance? So the inn is called the Deathly, which is a weird, so it's a weird name for an inn anyway. Deathly, so it's death dance. What's the sort of dance? The Deathly Jig. Deathly Jig. No? Does that sound like a tavern inn name? The Deathly Jig. Death Jig. No, Deathly Jig. Let's do another one just to give them a 52. 52. I mean, this one here. River. No, we're going to call it Jig. The Deathly Jig. Maybe that's got some link to something along these lines. So Ephraim has sent a homing pigeon to the castle and the society, telling us that, and he's from the Deathly Jig, that a misdeed has occurred. 55 dead livestock. So dead livestock have been being found. Okay, so these things, so we don't know what the Vaesen is, but these clues will lead us to the Vaesen. There's several tables, and so we'll do investigations to try and find out, and that will then lead us to be able to make a decision about who the Vaesen may be, and we won't know until we kind of progress further into finding more things out. Interesting location table to determine where the misdeed occurred at 192 in Sweden. 192, interesting location. So this 33, so we're saying it's the countryside. I kind of decided that. Windmill or sawmill? Around a windmill, okay. Or sawmill, windmill or sawmill. All right, let's go 50-50. Oh no, we'll use the card. So you're meant to use cards. So what we'll say is reds, it's a windmill. Blacks, it's a sawmill. Red, it's a windmill. So there's a windmill in a town outside. Do we have a map? I think there is a map. My eyesight is no way good enough to be able to see this. Okay, so I have no idea of a town. So I asked GPT, and GPT said, PO, you can tell me if this sounds right. Here said Vinkullen, which name combines wind, and Cullen, hill. So we've got, it's a small town called Vinkullen, Vindkullen. It's made up. So we're going to say it's about a day's travel. So we're going to travel by horse and cart for about a day, and we're traveling to Vinkullen. Now, we know there's dead livestock, and it's been around. So the livestock has been found dead, and we don't know how. So how killed? We don't know how they were killed, and we don't know how they were killed. But it's around a windmill. So the farms around this windmill, which is near the town of Vinkullen, have been found dead, which is quite a mystery. So we're discussing this. I don't know what we're getting into. Ephraim has given us very little information, Eric. Yes, I understand that, Samuel, but we need to move forwards as soon as possible and find out more information. Now, did you pack? Now, what would we take with us? So there's ways that you can equip yourself. So what we do to decide the equipment that we take with us, what you do is you roll a number of dice equal to your resources. So we have Samuel, our private detective, has a resource of 5, which means that Samuel rolls 5 dice, and we've got 1 success. And we have Eric, who is our priest. Eric has a resources of 8, and we got from Eric 1 success. So we have 2 successes that we can spend on equipment to take with us. Eric has a pistol. No, Samuel has a pistol, knuckle duster, a book collection. We can't take the book collection with us, and magnifying glass, but possibly we could say that we've taken a book on veterinary studies, so to give us a plus, so we can use it to give us a +2 once advantage. A book on dissecting animals, so we can get a +2 advantage once by using that book from just dissecting animals. So that we're going to do that. We've also got a magnifying glass, so we can get an advantage using that. Our priest has got the horse and carriage that we're riding in, some writing tools and paper, so we can keep a journal or we can send a message. We do have the Sepatus, which is the mystic, the Vaesen, but we don't know how that's going to help us. But what we could do is we have 2 resources that we can get something to help us. So the writing paper, we can get a +1 bonus when by taking notes when we're doing during an investigation roll. The book will give us a +1, not a +2 apparently. What does a magnifying glass give us? A +1 when you're doing investigations. Okay, we're going to use both of our rolls that we're going to bring medical equipment to help us with medicine rolls. It gives us a +2 on medicine rolls, which only Samuel the private detective has medicine, which we might need to use if we're going to try and find out what happened to these animals. So we're traveling along and so Samuel will look back at the back of the horse and cart. Eric would be the one driving the horse and cart and say, I'm glad we brought the medical equipment. That should help us when we are conducting our investigation. Now, we should hurry along. We should hurry along and get to Vindcullen, sorry. Get to Vindcullen so we can speak to Ephraim and find out what's going on. So our next scene, we would be coming to the outside. We see the Deathly Jig, which would be, so the pub sign of the Deathly Jig would be Death dancing, like clearly dancing a jig around a maypole. Do you have maypoles? Yeah, we're going to say there's maypoles. Around a maypole, is swinging it's dark, eveningish. It looks like it's been a bit of a stormy day, and we can see behind the town, up on a hill, there is clearly a windmill which is slowly turning in the wind, and we will go in and speak to Ephraim. Ephraim is our NPC. Let us use tables on 166 and 167 in the rulebook to generate Ephraim. We'll have Ephraim is a merchant equivalent. So we're going to the pub. It's very quiet. There's not many people. There's maybe one or two of the villagers who are sitting in the pub and are drinking. There would be men, of course. So let's see what his traits is. MPD. Okay, so we've got that. Got that. His traits. He is. So we'll go up to the bar and speak to him, but we want his traits first. Ephraim. We've got 44. So he's sick. So he's been coughing and sniffling, and he's clearly got a red nose, and he's wiping his nose on his sleeve quite a lot. And 61. How many do you normally want us to do? So we've got deviant, which is interesting. So he's ill, and we've got a deviant, but we don't know how or why he is deviant. Now let's do his mental state. So we're going to use the deck of cards. So use the deck of cards for this, and we'll pull out what you can determine the current mental state of the NPC. We pull 2 cards. The higher card is their primary mental state, and the lower card is their secondary mental state. I'm not even looking at these two. So we've got an ace, which is the higher, and the 4, which is the lower. We've got the ace of clubs. So clearly he seems terrified, which is the reason he contacted us. And the 4 of spades, dim-witted. Okay, so the barman is slightly dim-witted, large standard barman wearing a dirty apron. He's got red cheeks, and his nose is dripping into his beard. He has a large beard, and his nose is dripping into it as we approach the bar. So I think what we'll do is we were going to speak to him and see if we can get a clue off of him. So our clue so far, the only things we know so far is that there's dead livestock that's been found, large numbers of dead livestock. So we'll go up to Ephraim. Are you the proprietor of the inn? Yes, sir, I am. I can't do the accent. We're looking for Ephraim. That's me. Are you people from the society? Yes, we are. We hear you've contacted us. You have some problems. Aye, that's right. Now, so it says. So we've got his mental state. He's terrified. So he's going to be terrified and scared. So first off, maybe we will have Eric will step forward, and Eric is going to attempt. Let's see. He's going to attempt to calm him down, How do we calm someone down? Mental state, calming him down. So we will start asking him some questions, but we need to basically get him to give a straight answer. And to start off with, because it says he's terrified, he's not giving us straight answers, and he seems to be very nervous and very unsure of himself. And this is making it different to talk to him. So we need to calm him down, which I think is inspiration, mental critical injury. Right, here we go. Inspiration. Eric, our priest, will step forward and say, "Sir, you seem to be quite bothered by what's been going on." I am. We've got the livestock has been dying and we don't know what's been happening, and it's really starting to ruin the town, and the farmers are losing money and I'm losing money because they don't have money to spend, and something is out there doing this. Something is out there doing this and killing the livestock. And so he's losing a bit. So for us to be able to get a clue from talking to him, we're going to have to try and calm him down. And so we will take him, we'll see if there's anybody. I know what's going to happen is Samuel's going to say, "Look, why don't I stand behind the bar and I can serve people for a bit, and Eric, why don't you take Ephraim out the back and you can make Ephraim a drink, maybe a tea, everyone likes a tea, good cup of tea, and calm Ephraim down, and then we can see if we can find out and you can find anything out." So Eric is going to take Ephraim out the back and start talking to him and do the vicar thing, have him sit at the table, tell him to calm down and everything's going to be okay. He's going to recite some passages from the Bible off the top of his head, and he's going to, so this is empathy. So empathy gives us 4 dice, and inspiration, which is what he has, gives 2 dice. He does have the Bible, so we could possibly say that he could get 1 dice from the Bible by reading something from it whilst he's waiting for the kettle to boil. So he's going to attempt to speak to Ephraim and calm Ephraim down. What did we get? We got no hits from that. So he's not able to calm Ephraim down, and Ephraim is not calm, so we could push that. If we push that, which means that we would take -1. Hold on. So if you push, you get a condition. We will then need to lose that condition probably later by having, so we can, there are various things you can do at the end of a day. And so maybe Eric is going to get a bit angry with the fact that he won't calm down and listen to what Eric is saying. And Eric is going to now push this roll and get successes. So he's got 2 successes. So by pushing the roll, Eric is able to calm Ephraim down. Ephraim is starting to speak more calmly and sort of slowing down what he's saying as Eric is trying to get out of him what's happening. So, Ephraim, can you tell me anything about what happened? Now, we will then speak to Ephraim, and Ephraim is going to, so this table can be used freely, but usually after rolling on the direction as a mystery, searching for clues, you make an investigation test. Each success lets you roll for a clue on the table and make one up yourself. To make a note in your the table helps you find a connection between locals and the Vaesen committing the misdeed. I think there was something that you don't want to get clues too quickly. Well, yeah. So getting a clue already within this first stage, that's all right. So we're going to talk to him and let's see if we can. So he's calmed down. Now we will attempt to question him. Right. Okay. So we're not doing that clue. We're doing these different types of clues. This isn't a Vaesen clue. So we spend an hour with Ephraim and Eric will keep coming back in and out. Who has the best investigation? I think Samuel would have the best investigation. Okay, so what's going to happen is Samuel, who is our private investigator, is going to basically change for Eric, who is our priest. Eric is going to look very uncomfortable in the bar, and people aren't going to come and order drinks because they're not going to ask a priest to serve them alcohol in a pub. And so Eric is just going to sort of stand at the door as Samuel, the private investigator, is going to sit at the table with Ephraim, who has now calmed down, drinking his cup of tea, and is feeling a bit more calm. I'll have to look up how to get rid of... I think Eric probably shed his mental condition by praying. We can have him pray and shed, I think, 2 mental conditions. We'll look that up probably next session. But this session, so Samuel is now with Eric. with Ephraim in the bar. A few of the people have left the bar now. The bar's getting dark, and Samuel is sitting opposite Ephraim and wants to say, is asking questions. So about this livestock, and what has actually been happening, and how many days ago has this been? And he's going to take notes actually. So Eric will have let Samuel use his paper. So Samuel will get a +1 for investigation because he's going to take notes as this is happening. And we'll roll on the keywords table, and this is what Ephraim is going to. So rather than just roll straight on the clues table, we're going to roll on the keywords table and seeing this can lead us to talk to somebody else, and we'll get a clue from them. So as we don't rush through to getting clues and then find the Vaesen too quickly. So one of the things when you're doing this as a solo, and this is my first try of course, standard Hollowponds solo sagas, dive in and make it up as you go along. So you don't want to find too many clues too quickly unless you want to have a really short session and work out who your Vaesen is. And so we've got 1, so we're trying to question using investigation. I think that's right. No, I think investigate. So it says here, search room, understand what happened to a crime scene, examine the dead body or find what is obscured. I think that's logic. I think we could use something which is empathy based to speak to Ephraim, but we're going to use investigation to try and work out, piece the pieces together and ask the right questions. And then we've got 2 for Samuel's investigation skill, and Samuel's investigation skill works under logic and he has 4 for logic. So we need to get at least 1 success for Samuel to have pulled out some information from Ephraim and to have worked. No, we don't get any successes. We're not doing very well on our rolls. So we will again, we've got he's getting very frustrated with Ephraim, which I think that means we get a minus on the next roll, but because it's pushing, he's getting very frustrated with Ephraim. Oh, we've got 1 hit, that's enough. Okay, so he's getting very frustrated with Ephraim and he's saying, now, Ephraim, I need help, otherwise there's no point us travelling for a day to get here. And really, Ephraim, we need some information from you. So, Ephraim says, so we'll do 3 rolls, first, second, third, to come up with ideas for what Ephraim tells us and who Ephraim suggests that we should speak to next. So possibly we need to go and have a look at the cattle, 26. We've got delighted, that doesn't really help, maybe. Maybe he's delighted to get help at last, because now he's calmed down. 34, tavern, okay. Maybe someone's going to come into the tavern. 12, out back. Okay, so Ephraim is delighted to at last people are starting to understand. He was dim-witted, so he didn't realise that Samuel was what Samuel was asking, and now he's delighted all of a sudden. Oh, now I understand. I understand what you want, sir. I do apologise, sir. I wasn't trying to be difficult, but now I understand what you want, sir. Now, if I like to take you out back, there's August. He works in the stables and sometimes he works down on the farms. He's a farmhand. Now, he was telling me about how the livestock was found and what sort of things had been happening. He is the person you really need to speak to. So, August, his mental state is 63. Oh no, we want this one for his mental state, don't we? First one, second one. So we've got 10 of diamonds and a 3 of diamonds. 10 of diamonds, he's trustworthy. That's his key. His key factor is he's trustworthy. And his second is a 3 of diamonds. He is alert. So he is going to be able to help us because he is both trustworthy and alert. And so because he's trustworthy and alert, I'm going to give us a bonus. So Samuel and Eric are going to thank Ephraim for at last helping. And we're going to go outside to speak to August. August is NPC trait, just 1, 22. Says suspicious, no, because we've just got trustworthy and alert, so we're not going to have that one. 51, poor. Okay, so August is dressed quite poorly. August is not looking as though he is very well to do. I think that we can burn resources. So we've got a capital of 3. So we are going to say that Samuel, the private investigator, who has a capital of 3, which means that capital is the amount that you can spend. Oh, wow. Eric has got a capital of 12. That's basically the amount of money that you're carrying with you. So Samuel will burn one of his capital to when he goes outside speaking to August, who's poor, to basically bribe him. And I'll give us 1 dice for that. Or 2 dice. 2 dice because we've been rolling so poorly. Because we've been rolling so poorly, we're going to get a 2 dice advantage on doing that. We are going to use manipulation. I'll stack all this up now. Manipulation is empathy. Empathy is a 4. Empathy is 4. We've both got a 4 of an empathy. And manipulation is a 2. So I'm stacking it up now. And then we'll do the conversation and then we'll do the roll. Because it's always story first in a free league game. Apart from Twilight 2000. So we'll go out back and we'll look around where the horses are. So of course we would have probably dropped the horse off with August and not really seen him or noticed him because he's a young lad who is very trustworthy, farmhand, but is quite caked in mud, looking quite dishevelled and quite poor. Is your name August? Aye, sir. My name be August. We're trying to find out about the cattle. Oh, sir, that's quite horrible. No, sir, you don't want to do anything about that. No, we've been come here to try and help. Apparently this has been occurring quite a lot. Yes, sir. I think we know what it is. It be the creatures. The creatures? Yes, sir, lives in the mountains. They come down, don't they, sir? They're all over the place. Something's gone wrong and someone's done something and I think I know what it is. Now, we don't know what it is. We'll have to roll on the table. But we're going to roll and see if we can get him to tell us what it is by bribing him and give us, yay, 2 hits. Nice. Okay, so that resource was worth it. Because he's very trustworthy and he's helping us, he is going to talk to us about what's been happening and he will give us a clue. And what's the clue, you ask yourself? I don't know. We'll roll on the clues table. 64. An empty but beautifully decorated jewellery box. That's not a clue. When searching for clues, you make an investigation test. Each success, oh, we've got 2, lets you roll on the clue table or make one up yourself. Think about where you find the clue and how it might have gotten there. Make a note of your journal. Okay. And then we would roll. All right. So what it is he says that he had found an empty but beautiful decorated jewellery box in amongst the dead bodies. He will go and get it for us. And so we wait and he's hidden it in amongst all the hay and shows it to us. And it's this beautifully decorated jewellery box and we see it. Now what we then do is if we can make a learning roll, I think it's a learning roll, then we can then try and link this to one of the tables. So there are 3 tables of clues. Table 1, table 2 and table 3 and we can try and gauge that. Yeah, that works. Okay, I get this. I get it now. I get it now. Hold on, I get it. So we've found this item. So basically it's an empty but beautiful decorated jewellery box that we have found. So around the bodies there was an empty but decorated jewellery box. Why? We need to try and work out what this jewellery box means and what relevance it has. So we need to make a learning roll. We've got, who's got the best learning? Which is Eric. So we say, well, thank you very much. And Eric and I will reside back and we sit at the table. We sit down in the pub. We ask for, Samuel asks for a stout and Eric gets a tea. And we sit there and we're discussing what this could mean. This jewellery box, what with the dead bodies. The dead bodies of cattle. We haven't looked at the cattle yet. We'll need to go and speak to a farmer. But definitely this empty jewellery box is a clue to what's going on. So how do we link this to a clue? So what we're doing is we're slowly collecting up clues to find out what the Vaesen is. And we don't know what it is yet, but so it's a bit like the computer game that I can't remember the name of, where you're trying to piece together what the ghost is. So what we're piecing together what the Vaesen is. So we have a learning of 2 and we have learning is a logic skill, which is 3 for Eric. Yeah, Eric's got the best learning. Oh, what we've got? So we've got logic of 4, logic of 3, ends up the same. So we are going to try 2. So we'll say, because we've got the notes, we've got a magnifying glass. I'm going to say we'll use the magnifying glass to give us a +1. We could bless us, but we won't. We're going to see if we can find out a link between what we know what this might mean. Come on, just 1. Yes, 1. That'll do. So we will now, so if this is here, what could this mean? This is a shiny object. So maybe it's something to do with shiny objects, or maybe it's something to do with robberies. So this may have been stolen from someone in the town. So we could try and work out if it's stolen from someone. If it's stolen from someone in the town, which is likely, then it could be burglary or theft. So we know that the Vaesen may be conducting burglaries, or if it's a Vaesen, it may be people doing this. Otherwise, what have we got down this list here? So we've got livestock have gone missing, Vaesen table 1. Anything down these? This is the only thing that this sort of links to is possibly there are burglaries or theft. So we need to work out is if this was stolen, because if this was stolen from someone in the town, then it could be a myling, which Samuel has encountered before, a Nessie, or a Sepetus, which is what Eric knows about. But if it wasn't a burglary, so if it wasn't stolen from somebody, then what else could this be? Then that would mean that it could be something that shiny is attracting someone. Now, we don't have anything around here that's something shiny, so we're going to take that this piece of information that we've gleaned is from table 2, that so far we've worked out. So what we're going to do is, that will end this scene, and what we will do is we will get a room from Ephraim, and in the morning we're going to ask around the town and find out that if burglaries have been taken place and anyone else has had anything happen. In which case then something else might have happened, because we do have the dead livestock, and dead livestock also links to a Nissi. So dead livestock and burglaries do suggest a Nissi, but it may not be burglaries. One item does not make a burglary. We need to find out, have more things gone missing? And also we need to look at the livestock and see if we know, we need to also examine the livestock. So we will end this scene with us getting a room, separate rooms, of course, using the resources of Eric, and then we would just say goodnight to Ephraim, and there would be a sort of a close-up shot of maybe the moon, and then I don't know, maybe tonight we'll end on an oracle. We will see if are any livestock killed tonight, because that would be useful tomorrow. So if there's livestock are killed tonight, so what would we do? So we've got black is neutral, somewhat dangerous, dangerous, very dangerous, lethal. Red is helpful. So we'll say that if it's black and high, then yes. No, it's red 9, helpful. So no livestock is killed tonight. Maybe the livestock dying is a mislead, and the livestock dying is not a link to a Vaesen, and this mystery does not hint towards a Vaesen. It definitely hints towards there is something strange is going on. There is a strange item that was found in a field with some dead cattle, which was weird. So we need to find out, were there any more burglaries? Are there any more items that have gone missing? And do any more livestock die? So was it just one farm or many farms? Like, is this a grudge against one farmer, one particular farmer? Someone's got a grudge against one farmer and he's killing that one farmer's cattle. We're discussing all these things as we eat dinner and have a drink, and we're examining this. Is there anything? Well, let's examine let's examine this. Actually, before I keep thinking, let's examine this jury box. Like, how old is this jury? If we get, let's do, so we've got a magnifying glass. So we are going to examine the magnifying glass, which would be, maybe, it's not vigilance, maybe observation. So we will have, Eric is going to take the magnifying glass. Eric's got a 3 for observation. Now, observation is people. Maybe it is investigation. Investigation is 2. So 1 for the magnifying glass, 2 for, and then we've got logic, which is 4. So Samuel is going to have a good look over this jury box and see if we can get any other clues from this jury box. No, that we're not going to push either, because we'll do prayers tonight and see if we can get. So we can't get anything else. No more. I hope I remember what all these notes mean. Clues from jury box. So we can't find out who. Don't know the owner. So we don't know who the owner of this jury box is from the jury box itself. There's no other clues from it. So we might want to examine livestock. Okay, so rather than just talk over everything I've just done. So that's, we go to bed and that's all we basically can work out. We know that there's a series of things we need to do tomorrow to try and get more information about what's been happening in the town of Vincullen. In Vincullen, we need to find out more things about happening in Vincullen and why this is occurring. I think I get the hang of that now. I think I was a bit stilted at the beginning, but now I think I get the hang of that. Thank you very much for watching. If you're a subscriber, you're a beautiful, wonderful person. As always, I will tell you this every single day I see you. You are lovely. If you are not yet a subscriber, you could be one of the lovely few, one of the collective, by hitting the subscribe button. You can also support me by becoming a member or by giving me a coffee thank you, which I'll be very much appreciative of. There are some t-shirts and things that you could also purchase, and that will help purchase other things, such as if we want to kick off Twilight 2000 again, there are some new supplements coming out that would be awesome to have. And beyond that, we will continue with our mystery of Vaesen and find out what's happening in this town, why the cattle are being killed, and where this jury box came from in our next session. And until then, have a wonderful time and look after yourselves. See ya.